Hey guys, I'm out working on my 2023 Winnebago Solis 59PX. I have some bad AGM batteries. It's 2025, so I bought this van July of 2022 actually. So it's a 2023 Winnebago Solis 59PX, but it was built on a 2022 Ram ProMaster chassis. So my batteries are over 3 years old right now, and they've gone out. So I'm looking at, what I need to do about it. Removing them is no small feat, so I have plenty of time. I know I have to get these batteries out of here, and I have plenty of time to think about what I want to do, whether I want to replace them with AGMs, which is a reasonable choice for me because I live in the Northeast and I do winter camping and ski outings, and I like the ruggedness of the AGMs. I don't have to worry about what the temp is for, whether to charge them or discharge them. I know there's lithium batteries that have heaters, but I'm not sure I want to do a lithium, a real serious lithium installation under my van. And I'm thinking about, if I go that route, I'd rather put it inside the van in the rear wheel well, or in the rear storage compartment on the driver's side, like a lot of people do. Anyway, none of this, I didn't know anything about these battery trays, how they work, so I'm going to assume that maybe some of the people don't either. But there's this frame that holds the rear battery, and it's got a tray, and if you loosen this nut here, there's nuts on either side, and those will drop into that notch there and hold that tray in place, and you tighten them down. So you can loosen those nuts to the point where you can lift the front edge of the tray and start sliding it out. Now there's an issue with clearance. So you got the anti-sway bar that runs along in front of the rear wheels there, and it makes it very difficult. If it weren't for that anti-sway bar, I think things would be a lot easier. And I was tempted to try to take it off to do this job, but I think I can get away with without having to do that. I could probably have gotten through here, these openings on the side, to loosen the batteries terminals, but I just wasn't comfortable. There's a frame like member across the front here that really prevents me from getting at the battery terminals and seeing what I'm doing when it was pushed up in there. And so where I'd really prefer to have these cables disconnected already, really couldn't get to them until this point in the withdrawal, in the removal process. I thought about taking the tire tray down. There's 4 bolts that hold it to the underside of the van, but once I start loosening those, after you loosen them a few revolutions, the threaded post starts turning. So it's not like those posts are welded in place, and I was concerned if I did get those off, would I be able to get it back on, or would they continue to turn? So that kind of spooked me. It could be that it's not a problem, but I looked at the drawings and online, and I really couldn't convince myself that I wasn't going to have a problem removing this tray and reinstalling it. So I decided to go the route of sliding it out the front here. But like I said, there's not a lot of clearance, so I'm going to be able to take off this negative side first, now that I have some reasonable access to it here. So there's the you can't really see it there. There's the negative side. There's actually 3 wires that connect to that terminal post. Then there's the front battery here, and it's a totally different style tray. the battery's on its side in this case, and there's 4. I'm just starting to work on this. I got the negative side off and disconnected already, but there's 4 nuts on the side here. It looks like there's this front kind of metal frame, kind of see it like a T shape or an H shape on its side, that's bolted in place and held in place with these bolts that are on the bottom. And as I'm trying to loosen those, they're turning, so I have to get something on the top side, unless I can lift this entire tray and tilt it down and then work with it. So I still have some things I'm trying to figure out here, but everything is cramped, and this isn't an easy job for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up, and I can just share with you, maybe get some footage. Some of it will be me doing trial and error, but some of it will be useful. I did remove some of these tie downs where I thought it could help me. So there's one there that I loosened, there's one there, there's another one. I did at least 3. Yeah, there's one up here that I loosened up too. So just anything that I could do. And then this rear battery has this this hold down. You got this long bolt that goes up through the bottom of the tray, and then it this hold down goes over top. And with that in place, I was not able to pivot the battery forward without this hitting the sway bar, and so I had to take that off before I tilted forward. And then you got this, it's not optimal. You got this piece of metal here that kind of loose, so you have to be really careful. I'll show you where the chassis batteries are. Oh, here's my ramp set up. So I have 3 2x10s, and that's actually pretty good. And I'm kind of fortunate, my driveway, this portion of my driveway slopes up, so when it's sitting on those 3 2x10s, the van's actually pretty level. Here's the chassis batteries, and I've disconnected the ground from here. So there's a ground cable that was attached right there, and I've disconnected that. That was a little bit tricky. It was straightforward to loosen. These there's a few things to loosen, but knowing how it was inserted up here would be helpful. You kind of had to tilt it up as high as you could, I think, to get it to disengage from here. And I think they want to really hold it down there because it's close to the pedals, but it wasn't too bad. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect this negative here. See if I can find the right size socket. Let's see. Let's try this 1/2 inch here. That looks to be the one. So, of course, the negative side is safer to work on, because if you hit and ground something while you're on the negative side, it's not a big deal. But when if I was working on that positive side, and if my wrench comes into contact with the ground in the frame, then that's not good. As I'm doing this, I kind of have to hold the battery so it doesn't twist around. Show you guys something of what I'm doing here. I just loosened the negative side there on that battery, and I just got the socket on the nut right now, backing that nut off. So now there's three wires connected right there. Ground from the forward battery, and the solar, and the connection to chassis ground. So this is not easy to get all these off. There's one. So I'm gonna just hold these kind of in place here for a second, and I'll bring up the camera. So there's the two. The last two I took off are oriented like that. So at least I have this video. So that's good. All the negative side of this battery is totally disconnected. And now I'm going to, I can remove the positive side. And then ideally I could slide this battery out. Alright, let me see. I'm going to see if I can lower this. I'm using the jack now. Now that the negative disconnected, I'm going to lower it. I feel a little better when this positive terminal is not so I have to watch that doesn't fall completely out here. Okay, so I have that down. Let me see if I can get an extension on that. Make me feel a little better. Okay. I'm going to make sure I capture how that's routed so that this line is going over the top. And then let me look at the angle I have going on with this tray. So there's the tray, how it's sitting. And, you know, I'm going to have to repeat this, so. Alright, so I'm going to continue taking this off. I'm almost have the battery out, and man, there's still a lot of work to do because I still have to do the one in the front. So this makes me really appreciate. I have all the negative ends disconnected on everything, so I'm hoping that, you know, let's see if I can get this battery down. Maybe I'll just lower it. So I'm lowering the jack by. So I'm just gonna hold this and lower it. I can just bring that down like that. Okay. Now, the nice thing about a lithium is it will not be that heavy. So this will let me look at these cables a little more. So this is the one that comes from the front. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Alright. Alright, so I got my battery down. That is a big deal. Here's me pulling the AGM out from under the van. Pain in the butt. That sucker's. That is heavy too. That's. Yeah. Makes me want to go with lithium. So let me just move this, put this in my garage. Wow. I think the lithium 105 is like 22 pounds. The Epic 105 amp hour. All right, let's go in here and take a look. All right, now that we got that battery out, let's see if we can identify all these wires. So this is the jumper. This red is the jumper to the front. And then you have a solar. This is the solar, I believe. It's the smaller stuff. It's the solar ground. One of these heads off to the chassis ground, and I think it's probably this one because it heads out the back here. This is the one from the front that is the tough one, and I wonder if I could just bring that into the front of the box instead of the back, and it'd be a little easier. So now we'll go up to the front and start working on that one. Let me just see if I push up on the tray. Is it loose? It is moving, so that's a good sign. So I'm going to get the jack under it now. Let's see if I can lift it from the back here. Yeah, I think I can lift it forward and drop it straight down. So, and I don't think I'm going to put anything back in this position. But I do want to get it out of here. Let's see, that's... So I'm going to move this over here. And let's see, I'm going to go like this. I wonder if I might put a board under this jack even to even it up a little more. So, thinking about lifting up the back of this like so. Looks like I'll be able to just pull it forward, you know, maybe an inch or so. And if I'm on those blocks, I think it'll be slick enough that I can move it. But I want to get something else to even this up. All right, I got me a hunk of 2x4 here. I'm gonna just see if I can put it under this back end of this, like so. Alright, that evens it up. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and crank this up, see if I can lift the tray. You can see it lifting right there. So as long as I get it up. Let's see if I can pull that out, push it forward or something. That seems to help. Yeah, that helps a lot. I can get around to the other side and just lower this a little bit. Alright, that side's off. I'm going to go around to the other side and see if I can Get the other side to move a little bit. Huh. It seems like it's moving the battery, not the tray. Huh. Here it goes. And maybe while I'm putting some tension on it, I can lower it. Oh, wow, that's a pain in the ass. The other one's still trapped, or no? I'm going to put some tension on it while I lower it. Oh. It's like the whole thing's moving, but the top isn't moving. Well, I just managed to pry that out off there with this flat bar. I don't know if you can tell what I did, but I'm going to go around to the other side and see if it happens to be free. Yeah. Yeah, it would appear that it's all free now. There's that one and that one. So that flat bar really helped. I didn't have to do the positive side. I just was working on the negative side over here. Let me see if I can pull this battery forward a little bit. I'm going to get behind it and push it. So I want to get this bottom edge to clear. So I'm pushing here. It feels like it's all free, so maybe I can start jacking it, lowering it, and it'll come out, kind of fall out of place here. I'm going to grab the front of this tray and pull it. I think I got it. I felt it fall. There we go. I think that'll clear. I can take these off. They're disconnected. You can control them. Yeah, better jack it up a little bit. Not much clearance. Giving a little slack and much easier to get that off. Oh man, I think I'm home free. Right. This actually turns easily. My fingertips. Here it is. And that's a milestone. Even if I don't have anything to put in yet, there's a ton of work, and just decide to not even put anything up there. What a ordeal. There it is. It's out.